All right, thanks everybody for joining here. You should see a mobile control overview slide up on your screen. We're going to take you through a detailed walkthrough of our product, how it integrates with the SedonaOffice product, as well as some of the core functionality we offer. To give you a little bit of a background on what we do, it is a cloud-based service, so we'll put the tracking device in your vehicle. You'll get 24/7 access to all of your data right through an internet connection. In addition, you'll have a mobile application that you can download through Android or iOS that's going to allow you to access and receive information that way as well. It's very easy to use. We will partner with you on providing you implementation support, on-site installation, lifetime warranty training, product updates as well. Now, when you get into the website, some of the core functionality that we'll be taking a look at is deeper dive today is our mapping, how that works with interfacing vehicles as well as your Sedona jobs and service tickets, assigned and unassigned as well. How you set up the alerts with text or email. You can get a notification via your mobile application as well. Full suite of automated reporting that you can set up. They'll be fully integrated with all of your work order data, and then our vehicle management piece as well. You're going to see how driver safety, fueling transactions, and vehicle maintenance can be an important piece to the software as well. Included in our core product offering is the SageQuest fuel card. That's going to allow you to take advantage of a MasterCard program we've set up with our fuel provider. It will be fully integrated with your GPS data. This card is free of charge, comes with the core product. It's going to be accepted at any gas station nationwide. It does allow you the flexibility to set up parameters around what the card and cannot be used for. So you can set it up for fuel only, fuel and maintenance, however you want to handle that piece of it. Now, the important thing there is when a fueling transaction takes place, what we're able to do is actually run a couple of unique reports for you. The first one you'll see is fuel slippage. We're going to go in and cross-reference any fuel purchases made with the vehicle location and make sure that syncs up and there's no potential abuse going on with your company fuel cards. In addition, you'll see the excessive fuel purchase. We capture the fuel tank capacity as part of the vehicle input on setup. We'll show you how many gallons were purchased on the transaction. In this case, if it's greater than the fuel tank capacity, you can see the example here was 18 gallons. We want to find out where that fuel went and if that's costing your business real dollars at the end of the day. And once we're assured the fuel is going to the right place, we're able to run a fuel efficiency report. You're going to be able to dive in here and see exactly how much fuel each of your vehicles consumed, how many miles that fuel took them, and that allows us to calculate the actual miles per gallon. From there, we'll compare that to the estimated miles per gallon that you think you should be getting. If it's not up to par, we'll show you what that's costing you in terms of real dollars. And the two columns on the right are going to show you how the driver behavior may negatively impact your fuel efficiency, mainly lots of speeding incidences and lots of minutes of idle time are two big contributing factors there. So that's how the fuel program works. Again, that's included with our basic offering, something you can take advantage of at no extra cost. So we're going to jump over to the actual product now. You can see I'm all logged in there. We have a fleet of vehicles. You'll see the different statuses, icons, location of the vehicle. You simply hover over any of the icons and it'll put your detailed information balloon up there. In this example, we can see this is vehicle 112. Rod's my driver and he's headed eastbound at 27 miles an hour. You can zoom down to the location from the useful links right in our vehicle balloon, where you'll be able to see a detailed view. You can also access the Google Street View as well. So you're going to be able to see all that data simply by clicking there and zooming on in. Now, when you zoom back out, what you're able to do is set up some your work orders as well. Excuse me one second. So you're able to set up your work order data in there as well. You can go in there and set up your jobs, service tickets, and you can put detailed status. So when you look at the map and see the color, the icon, the type of job it is, all just by taking a look right at your map, it's going to have all that data detailed right out for you, right on your map. So as you see there, as guys go on their FSUs and update statuses, you're going to be able to see your work order icons change color. You're going to see what type of job you have out there. You'll see whether or not they've been assigned to a technician, if you happen to have people in the area. All that data automatically patches over. So when you go on your scheduling, the problem code, the technician, everything will patch right over to us automatically, where you're going to be able to see all that data integrated right onto the map, along with the vehicle status and location. Moving forward, you can set up alerts as well. You're going to be able to define company policies around how your vehicles get used and create customizable alert definitions. You'll set those up for whatever activity you're looking to monitor. You're able to monitor that in real time based on vehicles or groups of vehicles. You can set up to have that stuff emailed, texted, or displayed on your mobile application as well. So real-time alert definitions sent out to you, as things happen, give you the ability to react to those right away. In conjunction with the alerting, we have a full suite of integrated reporting you could set up. Now, all of the reports, including the fuel reports we already talked about, can be automated. So when you set up a specific report, you're able to customize the features on that specific report. Everything from type of file you want it run in, to filters, customized options. We even have color-coded highlighters that you can put on there to direct your attention to something important. From there, you're able to automate, where you simply check the box. The report will be automatically run and sent out to you on a daily, weekly, or monthly basis. This can go out to any email address. You can easily copy the driver on some of the data that you may want them to have. And you don't actually need a mobile control login to be a recipient of one of the reports. So if you have certain folks in the office that you don't necessarily want to receive the report, or that actually you want them to receive the report but don't want them to have access to the system, you could set it up that way as well. Some examples of useful reports are, the most popular report we have is the travel and stops. Now, this allows you to go in and set up a vehicle. So we'll just look here at Steve. You can see he's in vehicle 1261. You can see his first start location of the day, what time he departed that location, his travel time for that leg of the travel sequence, his distance traveled, where he stopped, what time he arrived, and how long he stayed. So that's our standard travel and stops report. Is going to show you each start and stop location throughout the day. Ultimately, we can see Steve ends up back here at the office around 10 after 4 in the afternoon. The bottom blue line is going to give you the total drive time, total distance traveled, total stop time, and total idle time for each vehicle. Now that is our standard report. When you have your work order integration with the SedonaOffice product, that same report gives you a lot more details. So this is the same driver for that same day, only now you can see when that vehicle goes to its first stop and it's located associated to a work order, all that data integrates right onto the report automatically. So there's no extra step that you need to take administratively for any of this data to pass. That's what the integration does. That's why we work closely with Sedona on making sure this is easy as possible for you guys to set up and use. So all of the data for each stop is tied in there. One of the other unique things we're able to do by partnering together is we found that the vehicles don't necessarily get to the actual address where the work order is scheduled. And based on status history, what guys are putting in their FSUs, we're able to still sync that information up. In the example here, you can see my vehicle stopped on 20 Old Hickory while the work order was on 22 Old Hickory. So you're able to still sync that information up. It comes complete with a confidence score on how sure we are that that is in fact the job, and you're able to get as much detail as you'd like on that specific stop for the day. Now, as you guys go throughout the day, whether it be jobs or service calls, whatever it is, your technicians are out there statusing updates. So we're going to go into the SedonaOffice product. We're going to pull out by tech the work orders that were completed. So you'll see here the 7 work orders Miguel completed, the work order number, the customer name, what type of job it was as well. We'll show how long you thought the job would take, meaning estimated or scheduled duration. We'll go in and see what the reported time was for each particular job. And from there, we'll take the vehicle data, integrate it in with the data we received from SedonaOffice, and show you if there's a difference between the two. If there is a difference, we'll show it both in the form of minutes and as a percentage, so you can see how well your status updates are being reported back. This allows you to really eliminate a lot of paperwork, gives you a good tool to validate that what's being put in is in fact accurate, and that you're not either cheating yourself out of time or accidentally overbilling the customer in certain cases. So that's our work order variance report, and you can see how that integration works. One other report I do want to mention, we had talked briefly about driver safety, and our device has a program built right into it for that, where we offer summary style reporting on driving behavior. This not only includes speeding, which we of course offer, but also includes braking, acceleration, and cornering as well. The important thing to take away on this report is it comes complete with a safety score. So rather than getting caught up in individual unsafe driving events, we can look at an overall summary level safety score by driver. You're able to see who scores where. They're ranked individually from 0 to 100. Higher scores mean safer drivers. Moving forward, as we talked a little bit about with the fuel card, when we set up a vehicle, we will gather all the data from you. So you'll provide us an Excel spreadsheet with all of the information you want input into the system. So you're gonna name a number or both, assign the vehicle. We'll calculate the odometer in hours and then track it moving forward. You can assign a driver. You can put the vehicle into a group, put the vehicle cost in, everything from VIN number, year, make, model, fuel tank, and all that. When you participate in the fuel card program, any purchases made on that vehicle's fuel card will automatically tag and download to the vehicle, so you'll be able to see all that. And that's where we pull the data to get those two reports that we had talked about a little earlier. In addition, you're able to set up service plans. So now, once that vehicle's set up, you can go in there, you can actually create a service plan. Again, we have the odometer in hours. We can also do this by time. So you can go in there and show you an example of setting up an oil change. Say you wanted to get that done every 3,000 miles or 90 days. Now, you may not want to wait to get the reminder until the service is already due, so you could set it up for, say, 500 miles or 2 weeks before it's due that the email will go out. This email can go out to anybody in your company, as well as you can easily copy the driver to make sure that they get reminded that the service needs done. I see a lot of companies that'll do, drivers responsible for their own maintenance. This is a helpful tool in that regard. If you have somebody in the office who takes charge of that, it's pretty easy to go in, make sure that they get that data sent to them, and then they can keep track of it. So you're going to have a couple easy ways to access that data. You can go in and view service reminders for your entire fleet. It'll show you things that have triggered a reminder. Anything past due is going to come with the yellow warning label. You're able to simply complete the service. So if the oil change that you set up was done, simply click complete. It'll pop open a new window. It'll allow you to put in all of the information for that service. So you're going to be able to see if the service, the miles and hours of service. You'll put in the location and cost. Any notes you want to add in, you can submit that in, and it'll allow you to pull reports. So now at the end of the month or whatever, you can go in and run a couple of unique reports. One is a vehicle maintenance report that'll show you historically what services were done on which vehicles. So it'll show you an individual cost of that service, whether it was a scheduled or one-time service, the miles, any notes put in there as well. And in addition to the maintenance history, you can actually run a maintenance scheduled report. So say at the beginning of a week or beginning of a month, you can get a detailed list broken out by vehicle of when those services are due and how much time you have left, so that you can preemptively get those things scheduled and not end up having a vehicle off the road in the middle of a busy day or busy week, whatever the case may be. Now, what we have on the screen now is our dashboard. This is interactive. It's customizable. So across the top, you're going to set the time frame in which you want to look at the key metrics. This is driver-based, so this is a nice feature as far as being able to monitor drivers as opposed to maybe vehicles. You can go into your preferences, and you're going to have two options here. You're able to go in and actually set your own benchmarks if you'd like, or you can use your 30-day average as well. So rather than you having to pick an arbitrary number that you may or may not be sure what's good or what's not, you can use an average and then work on improving these metrics month to month. Very simple to use piece of the system. Once the benchmark is set up, whether it be an average or a number you chose, you're able to go in there, see the benchmark, and see your total fleet averages versus that benchmark. So the first metric we see here is idle time. We set up a 25-minute-a-day goal. We average 42 minutes a day for the month of March for my entire fleet. Anybody who's in the red, you can see, actually exceeded the benchmark. You want to make sure that you don't have too many guys above where you want them to be. Worst case offender here was Ken Adams. You can see he had 2 hours and 17 minutes of idle time per day against a goal of 25 minutes a day. So room for improvement there. You'll see a breakdown not only of idle time here, all kind of customized metrics. You can see breakdown of activity, give you your average travel time versus average stop time, and then of that stop time, it'll show you how much time was spent on work orders versus not spent on work orders. You'll be able to see mileage, start time, work order stops, scheduled versus actual. Speeding severity is a popular metric here, so rather than picking on individual speeding infractions, you can go in and set up a severity threshold where you'll see, of the speeding taking place, at which miles per hour over the limit is it. And then again, back to the safety score, we'll give you a ranking by driver, benchmark versus actual on the safety score. It'll include distance traveled and any unsafe driving events that may have occurred. So down the left-hand side is where you scroll through your total fleet metrics. Over here on the driver, you can actually click, and it's hyperlinked. So you're going to be able to pull up, in this example, Ken Adams' scorecard. So rather than looking at the fleet rankings, you're going to be able to look at an individual driver, see where they rank amongst their peers based on the different things you want to measure within the system. So that'll conclude the demo portion. That's a detailed overview of what we offer, what it does. I know that we wanted to make sure and leave some time for questions here. If you guys have any questions, you can type them in. Justin will moderate those, and we can go from there.
Okay. Thanks, Adam. We have a few questions here. The first one is, in the map view, can I see all of my vehicles in New York and Ontario, Canada on the same screen?
Okay, good question. So a little long-winded answer, but the long and short of it is yes. As a matter of fact, the company we have set up here, I can show you all of your vehicles in Canada and New York all at one time. You're able to group those vehicles out. Now, if you want to separate them, you can do that too, like I had it isolated just for New York. One of the other options you have is to cluster those icons. So rather than see individual vehicles, if they're clumped together as you zoom out, you're able to actually click those clusters, and then it'll break it apart into individual vehicles. So you can see as little or as many vehicles on the map as you'd like by simply checking or unchecking them based on your group hierarchy on the left there. So you can see as you zoom out, not necessarily Ontario, but you get the idea. And if you uncluster them, you won't necessarily know how many are in each area, but you get to see the difference, and then you're able to zoom in on key locations as well. And then if you want to get rid of Canada, you just uncheck it, and we're back to just New York, for example.
The next question is, what is harsh driving?
So harsh driving is an accelerometer that we have built into the tracking device, which monitors rapid acceleration, rapid deceleration, and cornering as well. So it's going to take metrics on the likelihood of unsafe driving events costing you money, whether it be from a ticket, an accident, reckless driving generally leads to bad things with a mobile workforce. And that's where that safety score comes into play. You're able to benchmark that, see who your safe drivers are, see who maybe needs a little improving of their driving habits as well.
Okay, and the next question is the maintenance portion meant to replace our fleet management systems for all service vehicles?
You know, that would be it's a good question, and it's more of an individual preference, I would think, than anything else. You could, it could certainly replace it. It's a viable system to do so. I mean, it tracks intervals, it tracks the cost, it proactively sends you reminders of when it's due. However, I've also seen a lot where you're going to use it in conjunction with a fleet maintenance program you're already running. The key difference between our program and a standard maintenance program is that we have the miles and hours, and other softwares are just taking their best guess as to what it is based on past activity or something you might put in there. So it can work well either way. It would be more of your preference. If you have ongoing fees with your fleet maintenance program, I don't see any real reason you would continue that and not use this as a replacement. If it's something that you have a sunk cost that's already paid for, then no big deal. You can use this in conjunction with that, and it's not really any extra work. You're able to set those maintenance pieces up one time, and those reminders continue to go, as you move along there.
Okay. On the service reminder, can a reminder be sent down to the unit itself?
I mean, it can be sent to any email address. The unit itself isn't interactive at all. It's a black box tracking device that gets installed right under the dashboard. So just to kind of give you an idea, we come out, we put the device right in the vehicle. It's hidden under the dashboard. There's no big mounted antenna or anything like that. It's going to update every 90 seconds, and there's no interaction with the driver. It can't be turned on or off, or there's no data you need to put in there. So when you're setting up those maintenance alerts, they can go out to any email address really. So that would include the driver, whoever may be in charge of maintenance internally, the owner of the company, whatever. If you have a third-party mechanic that does all your work, he can get the email, and now he's calling you to schedule service rather than the other way around. So.
Okay. The last one we'll cover here. Can you speak a little bit more in regards to the installation fees that you were talking about?
Sure. There's no installation fees. The way we work is we include everything for you. So you don't have to worry about buying the equipment, installing it, anything else. We cover all that for you. That's included as part of our package.
Okay.
For the SedonaOffice users.
Okay. Perfect. All right. Well, that'll conclude our meeting today. I will get a hold of all of the other questions that were a little more individualized, and then we'll have Adam reach out to anybody in regards to following up with any questions that he had that I have listed here for him. We want to thank you all for your attendance. Please feel free to reach out to either of us interested in the software, or just maybe you're using it and you have some general questions about the integration. I'd be more than happy to walk you through that as well. So we want to thank you all for your time today, and we will be following up with you shortly.
Thank you.